Greetings. Today I want to speak to you concerning the death of God in flesh. And many equate this story concerning the death of God in flesh to a man who existed 2,000 years ago. And so many people refer to Jesus Christ as God in flesh, and they deny themselves that they are actually God in flesh. They deny that their true identity is their divinity. And the reason for that is because they believe that the Bible is literal and that the Bible is secular history and that the Bible is pointing them to look outwardly for a savior or a redeemer outside of themselves. But I'm here to show you that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history, and that the Bible have no reference to anyone who existed thousands of years ago or to any actual event that would have taken place on earth thousands of years ago. From the beginning to the ending of the Bible, it's all a great psychological drama, and it all have to do with the human psyche. So when you understand your true identity is your divinity, then you will understand your mind and your body, and you will realize that your body is the cross on which each and every one of us must face death. And so when you realize that you are a spirit having a human experience, and you realize that God is a spirit and they that worship God must worship God in spirit and in truth, you will realize that it is teaching you about yourself, that you must have a right understanding of your inner self, a right understanding of your spiritual self, knowing that you're first spirit and you're being expressed in a body. Therefore, a birth, as in a physical birth, is a death in the spiritual realm, and a death in the physical realm is a birth in the spiritual realm. So a birth is a death, and a death is a birth. And so each and every one of us been birthed here in a state of forgetfulness, a state of amnesia. And because of that state of amnesia, none of us can remember when we were a month old or 2 months old or even 12 months old or even up to 24 months. Okay, we cannot remember anything. And so God, to have a human experience, must die. And this death is a sleep. It's a sleep of amnesia. And so God wanted to experience everything that you are experiencing, and he wanted to experience it as you. So God in spirit cannot enjoy chocolate. God in spirit cannot enjoy chicken, fish, eggs, and all the other things, the fruits, the vegetables, all the things that we eat for nourishment. God cannot enjoy these things as a spirit. Therefore, you have to take on a body and have a human experience. And this is shown to you in St. John chapter 10 concerning the Christ, whereby it is teaching you when you come to know who you are and you discover your Christ self because of your awakening, and you tell your brothers and your sisters who you actually are, that they will say that you are blasphemous. When you tell them that you and the Father are one, they would say that you are blasphemous. They would say that you are crazy. And they will call you all manner of names because you have come to know exactly who you are. And so this whole drama of you discovering that you are God in flesh has been played out in St. John chapter 10, and it points you back also to Psalms 82. And so many religious people will say to you that when you see God with a capital G, it means the true and living God. But when you see it with a common G, it just means that you are creation from God. That is not true. That is a brainwash. For example, if you look at nature, you see that everything brings back after its own kind. And many religious people refer to themselves as the child of God. But if you look at the child of a dog, it is nothing else but a dog. And when it grow and it becomes an adult, it's an adult dog. The same thing with a lamb. That's the young of a sheep, and it grows into adulthood, and it is a sheep. So too you must grow in faith, you must grow in understanding and wisdom to know your real identity, to be your divinity, because the journey of life is from humanity to divinity. And so, my brother, my sisters, many people have been reading this whole story about the one who died on the cross and failed to realize that they are actually the one who must face death on this cross. And the reason why most people do not really understand it is because they fail to realize that God in man is man's imagination. Therefore, the resurrection is actually an awakened imagination, and this awakened imagination will take place within. That is why those of us who understand the Bible esoterically and understand the Bible metaphysically and understand that the Bible is a book of mind science and must be interpreted psychologically, those who understand it psychologically, we understand the mystery. We understand the whole story, because we are the ones who experience St. John chapter 3. We are the ones who experience the new birth, the birth from the skull. And that is why I can say to you that you are God who must face death and die as a man. And I mentioned Psalms 82 already because it tells you that. So when it tells you that Jesus Christ is God in flesh and he experienced death, it is saying to you that you are God in flesh and you will experience death. Because, for example, if there was actually a literal man 2,000 years ago and he died for you, then you shouldn't die anymore. But why you still have to face death? You understand? Because you had to experience death to have this physical experience, this human experience. Therefore, you have to face death also to go back to your true essence, to go back to spirit. And that is why the very life that is in me speaking to you and the very life that is in you listening to me, that is what will leave the body. And everyone will see the physical body. It will rot, it will decay, and it will be planted 6 feet under the earth because it comes from the earth. So God is living in an earth body. Okay? So my brother, my sisters, I hope what I'm saying, it makes sense to you to understand this whole story, that you would realize it is not a man 2,000 years ago that it is speaking about. Okay? As a matter of fact, you need to understand that the Savior, the Redeemer that is within you, which is your Christ self, that St. John 1 and 3 tells you that without him, there isn't anything made that was made, and that all things were made by him. It is teaching you how to understand the power of your imagination, because that him is a personification that represents the human imagination. Okay? Teaching you that everything in this world, it was first a thought, it was first an idea, and it was first imagined. And even though someone who is so wrapped up and tied up in secular Christianity will disagree with me, they have to use their mentality to disagree with me. Everything they will say to me, it has to first be a thought, it has to first be an idea, it has to first be imagined. So it means that they are still asleep and they haven't awake as yet. And so, my brother, my sister, I want to say to you, awake to your higher self. Awake to your God self. And learn to embrace death. Learn to accept the fact that a birth is a death and a death is a birth. And make sure to do the best you can while you are here by discovering your purpose, by discovering your calling, by tapping into your creative self, your God self, and do a mighty work upon the face of the earth. Be a problem solver, because when you come to your Christ self, you'll definitely be a problem solver. Because when you read all these stories about the Christ, you will read that he was actually solving problems. He was solving the problem of sickness. He was solving the problem of hunger, thirst, blindness, dumbness, all of these things. Okay, he was solving those problems. And so you've been sent here to become a problem solver. You've been sent here to learn that this earth is actually a school, and that you must come to a place whereby you discover that you are actually the creator, and you are walking in alchemy, which is actually the transmutation of energy, by you understanding that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. And you raise your frequency to the place that you will discover the Almighty to be your true identity. And that's the greatest metaphysical secret. You are God, but you're gonna die like a man. Psalms 82. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I want to thank you very much for listening to me. I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you listen to me, what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you, if it really resonates with you, and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. Also, if you like to follow me on Instagram or you like to follow me on TikTok, you can definitely follow me at BlackMadGuru. And if you feel strongly led to support this work because it's of great help to you, I just want to remind you that we have a PayPal, and the link is always down below. Also, you can choose to be a part of my Patreon community and support this work continually as we work together for the upliftment and advancement of all of humanity. Also, I have a $20 course on my Patreon. It's called The Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And it's all about you getting in alignment with the light that is within you, the sun that is within you. So as there is a sun on the outside that powers all of humanity and powers all of nature and give all of humanity and nature its energy, so too there is a divine energy within you. And when that divine energy within you is in alignment with that which is outside of you, you would definitely replicate that of which you're seeing on the outside. For example, when you look, you can see whatever the sun shines upon, it brings forth bountifully. And so your life will bring forth bountifully, and you will understand what it really means when it says, let your light so shine before the world that the world will see, and they will know that you have found the creator within yourself. So, my brother, my sister, if you feel strongly to check out those videos, I'll definitely encourage you to do so. At this time, I just want to say peace. Love you all. I'm out.